You don't feel like yourself anymore, do you? Lately, everything feels different. Time feels strange, people feel distant. And deep inside you know something is changing. This isn't anxiety. It's not overthinking. It's a spiritual awakening. Because you are no longer just human, you've been chosen. And now, God is calling you to remember who you truly are. Keep watching. This isn't a coincidence. This is your confirmation. You were not born into this world by accident. You may have been told you were just a product of biology, a name on a birth certificate, one soul in a sea of billions. But the truth is far deeper than what your eyes can see. Before time even existed, you were known, you were chosen, and you were loved. God didn't place you here randomly, He assigned you. In the spiritual realm, before your body ever took form, your soul was anointed. Marked with a purpose. You weren't sent here just to survive. You were sent to awaken, to rise, and to fulfill something divine. And maybe right now, you don't fully understand what that is. Maybe life has felt confusing, heavy, like you're walking through shadows. But even in that darkness, the truth has never left you. You are not ordinary. You never were. That quiet feeling deep inside, the one that tells you there's more to this life than what you've been told. That's your soul remembering, because the truth is, you were called long before you ever heard the call. Long before you opened your eyes to this world, heaven had already opened its heart to you. You see, the chosen ones are not the perfect ones. They're not the loudest, the richest, or the most followed. The chosen ones are often the most broken, the most overlooked, the most misunderstood. But God doesn't choose the obvious. He chooses the willing. He chooses the ones who are ready to surrender, who are willing to feel deeply, to walk through pain and still choose light. You didn't earn your calling. You inherited it. It was written into the blueprint of your soul. And now that calling is waking up inside of you. That's why the world feels different. That's why you no longer fit where you once did. Because you're not who you used to be, and that's not a bad thing, it's the best thing. God is shifting your identity from who the world told you you were to who He always knew you were. It's a divine remembering, a sacred return. And yes, it may be lonely sometimes. The path of the chosen one often begins in isolation. But even when you feel alone, you are never truly alone. The presence of God walks with you. Angels whisper when the world is silent, and every tear you've cried, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every dark night of the soul, none of it has been wasted. It was preparation. The chosen ones are shaped through fire, refined through the crushing, but it's in the crushing that the oil is released. And you, beloved soul, are filled with oil, holy oil, the kind that lights lamps, the kind that anoints kings, the kind that shifts generations. That's why your life has been different. That's why you couldn't follow the crowd. That's why your soul never settled for normal. Because you weren't built for average, you were made for impact. And now the time has come to stop hiding your light. The world is waking up. The veil is thinning, and the Father is calling His children home to themselves. He's calling you not just to believe in Him, but to believe in who He created you to be, a light carrier, a kingdom builder, a divine soul walking in human skin. You are the evidence that heaven exists on earth. But remember, being chosen doesn't mean you'll have it easy. It means you'll have it meaningful. It means you'll be challenged, so your character grows. It means you'll be called to higher standards, because your soul is made of higher frequencies. But it also means you will never walk alone. Every step, every season, every shift, you are divinely guided. Heaven rejoices when you remember this, so today, I remind you of what your soul already knows. You are chosen, you are called, you are not here by mistake. Everything you've walked through has led to this moment, and everything ahead of you is sacred ground. Walk it with courage. Walk it with love. Walk it with the fire of God inside you. Because the world is waiting, and the light you carry is the light someone else is praying for. Now that you know that you've been chosen by God, handpicked for a divine purpose, let me tell you what happens next. You begin to change. Not on the outside, but deep within. The things that used to matter suddenly feel empty. The conversations that once entertained you now drain you. The noise of the world, it starts to feel deafening. And no, you're not going crazy. You're evolving. Your soul is waking up to something eternal. You're shifting from who the world said you were into who God always knew you were becoming. It doesn't happen all at once. It's not a flash of lightning. It's more like a gentle unfolding. A peeling away of everything that's not really you. Your old self, the version built from pain, from trauma, from fear, begins to dissolve, and what's revealed underneath is something divine, something timeless. A being of light wearing the disguise of flesh. You start realizing that you're not just here to pay bills and die. You're not here to chase likes or titles or approval. You're here for something more, because you are not just human. You are spirit first. And your body, your personality, your story, they're just the clothes your soul chose to wear in this lifetime. But now God is calling you out of costume. He's saying, it's time to remember what you are made of. And what you're made of is Him. The breath of God flows through you. The essence of heaven lives inside your bones. That's why the old limitations don't fit anymore. You're not meant to live in fear. You're not meant to shrink to fit into broken systems. You're not meant to stay stuck in trauma or toxic patterns, because none of those things are your true identity. They are shadows, remnants of a version of you that the world tried to shape. But God is doing something new. He is renewing your mind, rewriting your spirit, and as He does, you will begin to feel the shift. You'll crave peace more than attention. You'll desire purpose over popularity. You'll choose stillness instead of chaos. The world may not understand it, but you will, because it's not a trend. It's not a phase. It's transformation, a sacred evolution. You're being called out of survival mode and into spiritual alignment. You are moving from a 3D life into a 5D existence. From reacting to creating, from searching to remembering. From being lost to being lit up by divine truth. And yes, this path will challenge you. Because shedding your old self is not always gentle. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes God has to remove things from your life. Not to punish you, but to prepare you for something greater. You weren't built to play small. That anxiety, that restlessness, that feeling like you just don't fit, it's not dysfunction. It's your soul rejecting a life that's beneath your purpose, and as you evolve, your frequency rises. You begin to speak differently, move differently, love differently. People will notice. Some will be drawn to your light. Others will be repelled by it. That's okay, because you're not here to please people. You're here to fulfill prophecy. You are a vessel of divine energy. And the more you align with that truth, the more powerful you become. Not powerful in ego, but in spirit. Your intuition sharpens. Your dreams become prophetic. Your words carry weight. Why? Because you've emptied yourself of the world, and now you are being filled with heaven. The old you was driven by fear. But the evolved you is guided by faith. And even when you can't explain it, even when your friends say you've changed, you know deep down, this is what you were born for. You are not evolving for attention, you are evolving for assignment. Because the world doesn't need more people who are normal, it needs people who are awake. And that's what you are becoming, not human trying to be spiritual, but a spiritual being who has finally remembered why you came here in the first place. You are rising, chosen one. Not because you're better, but because you're ready. Ready to embody the fullness of your soul. Ready to live as the divine creation God made you to be. The caterpillar never sees the sky. But the butterfly was never meant to stay on the ground. Your wings are forming, and it's time to fly. So now you're evolving. You're not who you used to be. And as your soul begins to awaken, something strange starts to happen. You begin to see through the illusion. The veil gets thinner. The world you once trusted, the rules, the routines, the roles, you realize they were never the full truth. You used to believe you were alone, separate, disconnected. But that was never God's design. You were taught to compete, to compare, to fear. You were told, you are this body, this gender, this job title, this trauma, and you believed it because that's what everyone else believed too. But now you're waking up, and you're beginning to remember. You are not separate, you never were. The idea of separation is the greatest lie humanity ever believed, and now God is rewriting that story. You were never meant to walk alone, you are part of everything, a thread in the divine fabric of existence. Your soul is not isolated, it is interwoven. And that's why you're beginning to feel a shift in how you view the world. You see beauty in the trees. You feel energy in a stranger's smile. You hear God in silence. Because everything around you is alive with spirit. We were never meant to be divided. Race, status, religion. Borders, they're all part of the illusion. Yes, they exist in the physical, but they do not define the soul. In the higher realm, the one you're now stepping into, there is no them, there is only we. One breath, one spirit, one creator, and you. You are beginning to live from that truth. That's why judgment no longer satisfies you. That's why gossip feels toxic. That's why you no longer feel the need to prove yourself. Because your soul recognizes the divinity in others, even if they haven't recognized it in themselves, and so you start loving differently. Not with conditions, but with compassion. You forgive quicker, you listen deeper. You feel things others don't. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. It's what happens when you begin living from your higher self. The part of you that remembers God is not just in heaven. God is in everything, in the air, in the heartbeat of the earth, in the quiet tears of someone who thinks no one sees them, but you see them. Because your eyes are no longer just physical, they are spiritual. You no longer live from your head. You live from your soul, and when you do, the illusion of separation starts to collapse. You stop chasing external validation and start aligning with eternal truth. You realize that everything you tried to become, you already were, and everyone you were told to compete against, is a reflection of the same divine source that lives in you. That's when healing begins. When you stop seeing yourself as a mistake and others as enemies. That's when you begin to understand the true message of Christ. Love your neighbor as yourself, not because it's polite, but because, at the soul level, your neighbor is yourself. And if God lives in you, then he also lives in the person who cut you off in traffic, in the person who hurt you, in the person you disagree with. Does that mean you allow chaos or abuse? No. It means you respond from love, not ego. It means you set boundaries without building walls. Because awakened souls don't need power over others. They walk in power with humility, with grace, and with truth, and you, chosen one. You are now walking in that power. You're remembering that you are not a body with a soul. You are a soul having a temporary human experience. And that soul is deeply, endlessly, and forever connected to everything. When one person heals, the collective shifts. When one person chooses love over fear, heaven expands on earth. This is the true awakening, not just seeing angels or opening your third eye, but realizing the divine never left. It was always here, in you, around you, through you. And now, you see it? That's why you're being called to live differently, with more awareness, with deeper presence, with radical love. Because the world needs more people who remember, more people who stop the cycle of division and choose unity. More souls like you, who are no longer trapped by illusion, but fully awake in truth. You are not alone, you never were. And now, you are finally beginning to live like it. Now that the illusion of separation is crumbling, and you've begun to live from your soul, not your story, a new truth begins to rise from within. You are not awakening just for you, you are awakening for others. You were never meant to just receive light, you were meant to be the light. Yes, you've been healing, yes, you've been growing, but now the healing becomes sacred fuel. The pain you endured, it becomes your message. The darkness you walked through, it becomes your ministry. Because chosen ones don't rise just to shine, they rise to lead, not through control, not through ego, but through presence, through love. Through divine example, you were selected, not to stand above, but to walk ahead, lighting the way for those still trying to find their path. And maybe that feels heavy, maybe you still feel unworthy. But here's what you must understand. God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And if He placed this light inside of you, then He already prepared everything you need to carry it. Leadership in the spiritual realm isn't about titles or attention. It's about alignment. When your energy is aligned with truth, people feel it, even if they don't understand it. That's why strangers open up to you. That's why you can walk into a room and shift the energy without saying a word. It's not charisma, it's anointing. And when God anoints you, the room changes. The atmosphere bends, the unseen begins to respond. Because heaven recognizes its own. And heaven lives in you. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out for the sake of those still in darkness. You are the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. You are the living proof that transformation is possible. And the world needs that now more than ever. We are in a time of great shifting. Systems are collapsing, truths are being revealed. And in the chaos, millions are searching for something real, for something holy. For someone who has walked through the fire and came out glowing. That someone is you. Your voice matters. Your story has power. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to love louder. Willing to walk in kindness when the world chooses cruelty. Willing to stand in faith when everyone else is shaking in fear. You are not here to convert, you are here to embody. Embody peace, embody faith, embody God's presence in a human life. That's how others will know the truth. Not by what you say, but by how they feel when they're around you. And the ones who are meant to find you, they will. Your energy is a beacon. Your life is a sermon, and without even trying, you'll start waking people up. You'll be the reason someone remembers who they are. Not because you gave them answers, but because you made them feel seen, safe, sacred. That is the gift of an awakened soul. That is your spiritual leadership. And yes, some will reject your light, not because it's too much, but because they're still hiding from their own. Love them anyway, bless them anyway, but don't dim your light to keep others comfortable. You weren't built for comfort, you were built for calling. And now, it's time to step into it fully. This world is aching for truth. And God placed you here, in this time, in this generation. To shine, to speak, to guide, to love, not perfectly, but authentically. Because your light doesn't come from you. It comes through you, from the one who called you. From the source that never runs dry, and that light will ripple out in ways you can't even imagine. Generations will heal because you chose to awaken. Lives will shift because you chose to show up, and heaven will smile. Because one of its own remembered the mission. You are not just here to change your own life. You are here to change the atmosphere around you. This is your time. This is your anointing. This is your moment to lead. So now you know, you were chosen, you've awakened, you're leading. But this journey doesn't end with awakening, it begins there. Because the more you align with your soul, the more you begin to realize something even deeper. You were not just created by God, you were created to co-create with Him. You are not a passive observer in this life. You are a creator and extension of divine energy, placed here to shape, shift, and speak new realities into existence. And now, the time has come for you to remember, your thoughts are not small. Your words are not meaningless, your energy is not invisible. Every moment you spend in alignment with your highest self. You are creating, not just for you, but for the world. Through divine alignment, your life becomes a vessel for miracles. And this is where many chosen ones begin to feel overwhelmed. Because the truth is, creation requires surrender. It's not about hustling, grinding, forcing, it's about tuning in, listening to the whispers of God, moving in the flow of spirit, not pushing the river, but becoming the river. And when you do that, creation becomes effortless. The right people arrive. The right ideas flow. The right doors open, sometimes without you even knocking. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. God is not just watching your life. He is co-writing it with you. And He's been waiting for you to stop creating from fear and start creating from faith. When you create from fear, you strive. When you create from faith, you flow. One is rooted in scarcity, the other in divine abundance. And when you choose to flow within, you begin to see the truth. Everything you need already exists. The love, the resources, the healing, the vision, it's all there, waiting for you to align your frequency with God's. Because the Creator of the universe lives within you. And through you, He wants to create new worlds. Worlds where peace is normal, where love is currency. Where souls remember their purpose. You don't need to wait for permission to step into that. You just need to believe that you're worthy of it. Worthy of the vision He planted in your heart. Worthy of the dream that keeps visiting you at night. Worthy of the life that aligns with who you truly are. You were not sent here to struggle your way through life. You are sent to express heaven on earth, and every time you act from love, from purpose, from stillness, you are manifesting heaven, and others will feel it, not because you're preaching at them, but because your energy becomes a reflection of divine truth. You see, when you live in alignment, life responds differently. The chaos doesn't control you anymore, the fear doesn't own you. Because you've remembered who the author of your story really is, and guess what? He gave you the pen. You are no longer just a character in this life. You are a co-author, a co-creator. A divine being partnering with God to shape not just your world, but the energy of the entire collective. And this is not about ego, this is about impact. When you step fully into your power as a conscious creator, you unlock the greatest gift God placed in you, the ability to create with intention. So don't speak words of defeat. Speak life, don't dwell in limitation. Think in possibility. Don't fear the unknown, walk in trust. Every thought, every word, every step is either in alignment with your divine truth, or adrift away from it. Choose wisely, because your energy has power. And now, you're being called to use it. You are not small. You are not lost. You are not waiting. You are rising. You are remembering. You are creating. Right now, in this very moment, heaven is moving through you. The world is not waiting for another savior. The world is waiting for you to realize you are already aligned with the source. The miracles aren't just coming, they're already here. And they're coming through you, so go ahead, breathe deeply. Anchor into spirit, and create, as only you can. In love, in light, in divine alignment, so now you know. You are not just a soul searching for purpose, you are a soul chosen for purpose. You are never just human, you are never alone. You are spirit, you are light, you are an extension of the divine. Everything you've gone through, the silence, the struggles, the questioning, it was all preparing you for this, for the moment you finally remember who you truly are. And now that you remember, it's time to live like it. Walk like you are chosen, speak like you are light. Create like you are connected to heaven. This isn't the end of your journey. It's just the beginning. You are not waking up to escape this world. You are waking up to transform it, so keep going, keep rising, keep listening to that quiet voice inside. The one that's always known the way home. And remember, when it feels like you're walking alone, the angels walk with you. When the world grows dark, you are the light. And when you doubt your power, look around. This is the proof. You were chosen, and you were born for this moment. If this message stirred something in your soul, don't let it fade. Like this video, subscribe. Share it with someone who's searching. Comment below, I am ready. Let the universe know you've answered the call. And I'll see you in the next message, Chosen One. Until then, keep shining, keep trusting, keep awakening. Your journey has only just begun.